All right, everyone. I want to be completely open, honest, and transparent, as I always have been in my trading. And that was the main goal of this channel when I first started it a few years back. And I want to just talk about how it's been a complete struggle recently in the current market conditions. I ended April, which I'm going to show you my calendar in a few seconds, green. It was a successful $41,000 profitable month. However, truthfully, since April 15th to now, the end of April, I haven't had one successful green trading session. Every single trading session from April 15th to the end of April has been a struggle and has been a red session. And I want to talk about how to get over this. I'm sure a lot of traders can relate or do relate. And I want to talk about how it just kills your confidence and how it can affect your emotional state, which is kind of like a domino effect that just amplifies future losses. So I want to talk about how I plan to get over it, how I am getting over it. That way anybody that relates to this can also see some type of difference in their trading. At the end of the day, we're all traders. We all go through the same emotions. We're human. We have successes where we feel like we're on top of the world and we're the best trader. And then sometimes we go through a drawdown and we question whether we should keep trading, or we question whether our strategy is effective or not. So that's normal. And I want to just explain how to get the confidence back and how to adapt and adjust to the market conditions. Now, this also has happened to me in the beginning of January. If you're a follower of my channel, I'm sure a lot of you remember that. The beginning of January was a 2-week period of drawdown. And in that period, there's two ways that I say to get out of it and figure out what's going wrong. Having 2.5 weeks of a non-winning trading day, there's two things that are going wrong. It's either A, failure to adapt to different market conditions, or B, point A can affect point B, is your emotional intelligence is blocking you and getting in the way. When you're failing to adapt to different market conditions, your confidence may get shattered, which then may enable you to trade emotionally or a little differently. So let's first talk about the month of April. Pulling this up here. This is my calendar. Again, $41,000 profit. And the first 2 weeks were significantly green. There was $13,000 profit in week 1 and then a $70,000 profit in week 2. And the start of the month, I was up about $85,000 in the first 2 weeks. And then week 3, week 4, and week 5 was just struggle, red weeks, red days, and I didn't take one winning trade in this period. So I had a 28% win rate, but we can rely on risk management, which was a 4.5 to 1 average win to loss ratio. My average loss was around 3,000 and my average win was around 12,700. So really what I want to explain is that when you go through a period of drawdown, look at your data and look at your trades. If you guys want me to do a full technical analysis breakdown, let me know by dropping a like and a comment on this video. But when you're going through this period of drawdown or the period of struggle, dissect your data. The one thing that I've noticed in my trading was that I was just simply failing to adapt to the different market conditions. One thing that I noticed that was major was, number one, I was not looking at the market around my levels of interest. There was tons and tons of volatility. Like pulling up this chart right here, what we're going to see is on the S&P, I'll pull up a daily chart. On a daily chart, we're seeing tons of volatility. We're seeing the crazy moves up, the crazy moves down. We're seeing sporadic changes in trend and price action. And with this crazy volatility, a lot of the time, especially on an intraday basis, I was trying to create false opportunities just because I thought the market was going to head in a direction, or just because there was volatility in these large ranges, I was saying there's got to be tons of opportunity for me to make money. And if I wasn't making money, then I wasn't taking advantage of it. So I was forcing a lot of setups, what I call in no man's land. They're just not at a level of interest. And I wasn't taking setups, or I was not patient enough to take setups at my levels of interest. And this paid for it again for the month of April. The first 2 weeks I did this. And then for some reason, after traveling, I was in Missouri these 2 days, and I was in Miami the next 2 days, the following week on the 28th and 29th. It was just mainly forcing setups, not being patient enough. And this was like a domino effect of my emotions taking over. I was lacking confidence. I was feeling like, oh, let me trade this just because it's moving. And it was a domino effect and a spiral effect. And this month of April, I'm blessed. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just highlighting things that I've done wrong. Was I was not patient enough. I wasn't following my plan. I was deviating away from it, and I was trying to create opportunities instead of locating opportunities. I have a big thing in my trading about locating opportunities, not creating opportunities. What I mean by that is that when you have a playbook or when you have a system or strategy, you know the characteristics that you're looking for when the market presents it. That way, when you see a similar pattern or a similar idea that you're used to, that you know works out for you based off your playbook, you know that's an opportunity you have to take. And our job is to just simply sit here and locate those trading opportunities. What I felt like I was doing was I was trying to create the opportunities. I saw the market moving and I was like, this thing has to keep going up. Or it was selling off and I was like, nah, this thing should go down. And I was trying to create these opportunities based off of my feelings and my intuition and what I thought was going to occur, instead of remaining objective and waiting for a good setup. So if anybody goes through a period of drawdown, you have to dissect your data like I just quickly explained to you. You have to realize what is going wrong. Is it based off technicals or is it based off of emotions? They're almost simultaneously identical, because if you are failing to adapt to different market conditions, then your emotions are just going to play the best of you, especially going through a period of drawdown. So let's just highlight this. Let's go April 1st to April 15th. $91,000 profit, 72% win rate, and about a 4-to-1 average risk to reward ratio. Now let's go from April 16th to April 30th. And this was 0% win rate and a negative $50,000 profit in the last 2.5 weeks from April 16th to the end. It was just a slow bleed, and this could even bring us into risk management. So if you look at my losing days, right, they're definitely higher than average, $11,000, 11K, 9K. But look at my best winning days, 21K, 17K, 28K. Right? And even if I click this day right here on the 9th, on the 10th, look at these losses. $1,600 loss, $3,800 loss, and then a $15,000 win. So the wins are significantly larger than the losses. And again, this has to do with having confidence in a solid system or a solid strategy. When you can go back and review your mistakes and be open and honest with yourself, and most importantly, have a solid risk management system, this is the backbone you can rely on when you go through the periods of drawdown, that you have to collect this data to figure out, Carmine, what are you doing wrong? When you can figure out what you're doing wrong and learn from the losses while maintaining risk management, that's going to keep us in the game. My losses are nowhere near any of my wins. If I had a losing day that was a $30,000, $50,000 losing day, then I would be in such a large hole that the wins wouldn't be relevant because the losses are so much larger. Now, let's look at the start of May. The first trading day that I took was a $16,000 profit. So far, this is May 1st as I'm recording this, 3:39 on May 1st. $16,000 profit with a 25% win rate. Look at these trades. $3,700 loss, $2,500 loss, $3,300 loss. And then the last trade that I took of the day was a $26,000 profit. I'm very blessed to show you a very good example of risk management, because at the end of the day, I'm a risk manager before I am a trader. At the end of the day, my profession is to be a risk manager, not a trader. So from April 15th to even May 1st, the first 3 trades that I took in May were losing trades. And yes, in real time, we could say I didn't learn from it. But it wasn't until I realized that I'm just forcing setups that are not based off my plan or not based off my strategy. Let's look at this trade today. This trade today was extremely simple. I'll pull up the pre-market plan. The first thing that I was watching for was a strong pop into 5670 to 5700 to look to be a seller for a move down into 5640. This was my pre-market plan that I posted today based off of this level of resistance right here. Now, I took the 3 trades earlier, pulling up the journal here. The first 3 shorts were way early before the level of supply based off my plan, versus the last short, the $26,000 profit, was directly at this level of resistance. What I was doing was I was shorting the market. as it was rejecting this downtrend line. I was shorting the market when I saw this red candle here. I was shorting the market up here at the 5670s before the sell-off. Instead, I just waited for the market to come into my level of interest. I just waited for the selling volume to appear. And then I took the market short and was able to capitalize on this sell-off. And this has been a mistake, like I said, in all of April and the start of May. But when I waited for my setup and I followed my plan, this is when I was paid for it, and this is when I was rewarded because I found an opportunity there. So if anybody ever goes through a period of drawdown and you're lacking confidence, understand that your confidence with a solid system and a solid strategy should never be removed. Yes, you could go through a slump. Truthfully, I was mentally drained, but I kept swinging when the market threw me the ball. When the market's throwing the ball at me and my system appears, I have to keep swinging, because I know my risk management is going to keep me in the game even when I am wrong, and I know my reward and my targets are going to pay me when I am actually right on the setup. So if anybody's struggling right now, keep your head down, put your foot on the gas, keep going, dissect your data, don't let your emotions get involved, and adapt to different market conditions. If you want me to do like a full breakdown on all of that, again, just let me know by dropping a like and a comment on this video, and I can easily do so. If you like these like iPhone uncut, real raw videos, let me know. And if you have any questions with any of this, again, hit that subscribe button and drop a like on my channel. But I'm ending it. Peace out, everybody.